And what crime has he committed that would warrant his arrest? What crime has Governor Newsom committed?
A crime has he committed?
Yeah, to warrant his arrest, as you had
I think his
suggested earlier.
primary crime is running for governor, because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country. And in many cases, they're criminals.
It's not every day that a president demands the arrest of a sitting governor, and it's certainly not every day that the National Guard and US Marines are deployed on American streets. In a move sparking national outrage and legal battles, President Donald Trump has deployed thousands of troops, including US Marines, to the streets of Los Angeles. His justification? Stopping what he called the city's descent into chaos. But critics, including California's governor, say it's a dangerous power grab. On Monday, President Trump ordered the deployment of 700 US Marines to Los Angeles, adding to the 2,000 National Guard troops already sent over the weekend. By Tuesday, another 2,000 National Guard troops were announced, bringing the total to nearly 5,000 federal troops in LA. Trump took to Truth Social to defend his decision, writing, "If I didn't send in the troops to Los Angeles the last 3 nights, that once beautiful and great city would be burning to the ground right now." The protests were triggered by intensified ICE raids on workplaces across the city, part of Trump's hardline immigration campaign. Demonstrators say entire communities were left terrified and targeted. By Monday night, in LA's Little Tokyo, fireworks clashed with tear gas. Protesters held signs reading, "ICE out of LA and National Guard go away." California Governor Gavin Newsom condemned Trump's actions in the strongest terms, calling them un-American and dictatorial. US Marines shouldn't be deployed on American soil facing their own countrymen to fulfill the deranged fantasy of a dictatorial president. Newsom revealed that of the first 2,000 troops, only about 300 were actually deployed, claiming the rest were left idle in federal buildings with no food, no water, and no orders. This isn't about public safety, it's about stroking a dangerous president's ego. The standoff has gone legal. California's Attorney General Rob Bonta filed a lawsuit against President Trump, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and the Department of Defense.
I, in partnership with Governor Gavin Newsom, are suing President Trump and asking the court to set aside the president's unlawful action federalizing the California National Guard.
The lawsuit claims Trump's mobilization of the National Guard without state consent is an unprecedented abuse of federal power, one that violates both statutory and constitutional restrictions.
To silence the people is to smother our democracy. To any who are outraged with the conduct of President Trump and his administration who feel moved to stand up and speak out, I urge you to do so peacefully, safely, and lawfully.
Australia has even weighed in. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese condemned the wounding of Australian journalist Lauren Tomasi during a protest broadcast.
Well, I spoke with Lauren this morning, and she's going okay. She's pretty resilient, I've got to say. But that footage was horrific. That was the footage of an Australian journalist doing what journalists do at their very best, which is to go into an environment that's not comfortable, but where in LA, it is not unreasonable to think that she would not have been targeted with a rubber bullet.
The press incident has sparked diplomatic tensions, underscoring the chaotic use of force during otherwise peaceful protests. By Tuesday night, fires were still smouldering in parts of Skid Row, but the protests were largely non-violent. Still, tensions remain high, both on the streets and in the courts. Governor Newsom is vowing to keep fighting, calling on Congress and the courts to stop what he calls the crumbling of checks and balances. With lawsuits mounting and troop levels rising, Los Angeles is now a political battleground, not just for immigration, but for the soul of American democracy.